Hello, everybody, and welcome to 21st Century Morocco, where I, along with my co-host Ezzoubeir, examine the future of Morocco by looking at some of its trends and current activities. How are you doing, Ezzoubeir?
Very, very well. Thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing good as always.
Good.
So we've talked in the past about the Netflix generation, and if you haven't seen that video, you should really go and check it out because we look at really how young people are behaving differently in this generation than the last one. But in this video, we're going to take a look at something that I would say was very close to both our hearts. Wouldn't you
Yes,
agree? We're going to look at
totally.
and so we're going to take a look at English and what Morocco is doing with English and what it's going to do with English over the next couple of years.
Yes.
So I think it's fair to say that we've kind of approached English from different angles because me being a native, I've had to learn English. But with you, it was a choice. So let me start by asking you what inspired you to learn English when there are lots of other languages out there?
Well, first of
And
all,
what
yeah.
motivated you to keep going really so that you reach a high level?
Well, first of all, I was very lucky that my father is a teacher of English, so I kind of got a love for the language, since I was a child. I heard my father speak English, and I always wanted to be like him. So I thought English is a language that I should learn. Also, he used to go to the United States and tell me about how people think, how people go about their lives, and so forth. And that fascinated me. Cultural difference is one of the topic that fascinates me. So, in order for me to interact with people from different cultural backgrounds, I thought that English is the language to do that.
So
So,
so
yeah.
straight away you associated language with the culture basically and with a lifestyle and a thought process.
Yeah, and more than that, I associated English with different cultures, whether they speak English or not, whether the first language is English or the second language is English. So this is the good thing about English, is that enables you to communicate with people from different cultures, and sometimes these people don't speak English as the first language. They speak it as the second language, but you have access to their culture through English.
So how would you say that knowing English has changed your life? I mean, if we could imagine that you didn't know English to the level that you do, how much English had on you as a person, as an individual, and also as part of your career?
I still remember at the cafeteria at the university some 8 or 9 years ago. We're talking, classmates. We're talking about what we would do in the future. When you graduate from university, you don't have anything apart from English. You're probably trained to be a teacher, but if you don't want to be only a teacher, English will enable you to learn a lot of skills, and use those skills, in your career. So I've learned to teach, I've learned to write, I've learned editing, I've learned design, I learned translation, and many other skills that I sold, to companies and individuals. So English
And, and
enable.
and is that because of your English? I mean, if your father, for example, was a German teacher or a Spanish teacher, and so you learned those languages, would you have had the same opportunities that you have now?
Well, I think this is something that only English gives you, because new knowledge is almost entirely and exclusively in English. So you have, for example, let's talk about something that's trendy right now, like marketing, online marketing. Uh, there is a wave now of what they call digital entrepreneurs, and I've met a lot of them, and they all speak English, and the only way for them to develop themselves and develop their skills is English. So the German language, for instance, is a very prominent language, but it's not as prominent and useful as English.
Do you think that your view is typical of young people in Morocco, or have you discovered something that other Moroccans don't know?
Well, I've been teaching since one of the things that I've done is teaching, and I've been teaching since 2012. And I've talked, at the beginning of every class, I would ask the students about the reasons why they want to learn English. And they all know that English is the way to go. They know that if they want to develop themselves and get ahead in their careers and so forth, they have to learn English. So I think this is something that a lot of Moroccans know and a lot of Moroccans recognize, whether they are able to speak English or not.
Yeah, I think it's true. And one of the things, I mean, I've been here for 6 years, and even in just that short space of time, I've noticed more and more. I've noticed the level of English rise, but
Yeah,
equally the desire from everybody to learn some English. Even if it's only a tiny phrase, to meet with other English speaking people around the world,
definitely.
to engage, and as you say, maybe pick up some of that culture that comes with the language. So if the young people of Morocco are kind of clued into this, do you think the government are clued into this? Because I have to say, I don't think they are. The government seems to be really persistently sticking to French. Do you agree with that? And if so, why do you think that is?
When it comes to political situations, I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I tend to think that there are always complex issues that the general public don't know about. So there might be reasons why that are preventing the Moroccan government from shifting to English, for adopting English as second language, for promoting or strengthening the position of English within the linguistic landscape in Morocco. But I don't know them, and I don't want to just say, like a lot of people say, Morocco cannot do it at this point, and they talk about Morocco's sovereignty. They say, Morocco is not capable at this point to evade the grip of the French in Morocco. And I don't want to say that at the moment because I don't have a lot of evidence for that. I don't know for sure. But I would say we need the government to clarify why English is not second language, despite the many research that correlate English with economic progress.
Okay, so let's we're heading that in that direction. So let's talk about the economy of Morocco. Like you've intimated, more and more businesses actually being conducted online.
Yes,
Do you think that French maintains itself as the dominant language in Morocco, that will have an impact on e-commerce in Morocco?
I would say that the only language that e-commerce speaks, international e-commerce speaks, or those that are involved in international e-commerce in Morocco, they use English exclusively. So French has absolutely no say in all this. It has no position in all this.
So isn't it in the best interests of Morocco to really push through English, because the future of commerce is e-commerce, and if
Yeah,
there is limited amount of people in Morocco who can do that, and then limited amount of opportunities, then that's going to reduce the amount of money that the state can generate through online activities, surely.
definitely. And even if we don't talk about e-commerce, uh, shifting to English is an economic is a necessity for economic progress. Sorry.
Okay, so winding this up, this is about 21st century Morocco. This is about the future. When do you think English will officially overtake French as the recognized alternative language? Let's not say second, because Morocco has a lot of languages, but the alternative language to French. When do you
Well,
think that will be?
I don't have any facts to base my prediction on, but except apart from my impressions, and my interaction with Moroccans wanting to learn English, I think at this rate, French English will replace French in the next 10 years or less, or even
Yeah,
less.
I agree with you. I think 5 years is a possibility, but I think that might be the
Soon.
quick end of possibility.
Yeah,
But I definitely think within 5 to 10 years. I don't even think it's going to take 10 years because technology, young people, they're 15 years old now. By the time they reach, 10 years time, they're going to be 25. So they're going to
Yes.
be setting up their own business. They're going to either be leaving the country or they're going to be doing it in this country. So I would say, let's split the difference. I'm going to say by, 2027, I think it
Mm,
will be so we in 7 years time we can look back at this video and laugh if I've
yeah.
got it wrong, but definitely I would say by 2027 English will be the replaced official language in Morocco.
Well, I think uh, people need to recognize this fact and start learning English,
Yep.
and also start campaigning for English to be the second language in Morocco sooner.
Because I think I was talking about how Morocco needs to realize that every year that it spends with French rather than English, it's not staying where it is because other African countries, in fact, other countries throughout the world, are embracing English, and so they are moving ahead. I hope people have found that interesting, and and if people want to comment, what do people think? Maybe they disagree and they think that English is not that important, or maybe they think that for 2027. So yeah, people leave comments in the box below and let us know what you
Yeah,
think.
I think this is particularly important. One of the things I did in the beginning is to try to get people's views on this. So I went to English-speaking groups on Facebook and I asked many questions. One of them is, why do you think Morocco is not making a decision about this, a clear decision about this? And people are not happy with the fact that French still dominates the linguistic landscape. And so I think people that are not happy with the current situation should share the video, should comment, try to instigate debates regarding the linguistic situation in Morocco, and create more content about this. You can write articles, you can do videos and share with us. If you have specific view on language, you can probably shoot a video and send us the link so we can watch it and probably get back to you in one of our coming podcasts.
Thanks very much for the opportunity of doing this podcast. I'm sure it's going to stimulate a lot of debate.
Sure.
And see you at the next podcast.